This is the control center. This gives you pretty much all the information you need to know about your RV. First, you have the levels test. When you press this button, you will see that all of these lights go up. As you see, you got black water, gray water, fresh water, LP gas, and battery. The motorhome has 3 tanks. It has a clear water tank, which is the water that you're going to use, that you can use. That is actually the one that is going to come out of the faucets, the shower, all the water that you're going to use to flush the toilet. Then you have the gray and the black. The gray water is soapy water, the water that comes out of the sink, the water that comes out of the shower. The black water is the sewage water, which is actually out of the toilet. Now, each one of them has a tank. The clear water is the incoming water, the gray and the black water is the outgoing water. You get only 35 gallons in each. So keep in mind, black water, 35 gallons of bathroom water is actually sufficient for a weekend, not a problem. But a quick shower on the gray water tank, it's quite easy to reach 10 or 20 gallons. And if it's a long shower, 40 gallons is not out of the question. So you always got to keep in mind the sensors. Also keep in mind that the sensors work on humidity. So a lot of times the sensor may not be giving you the real feeling. To know the exact level of the tanks, for the black tank, simply open the toilet and look down. You're looking at the bottom of the tank. So if the tank is full, you will see the liquid right up the brim of the toilet. On the gray tank, if you're overflowing the tank, you will see that the water will be pulling into the shower base. In those cases, you need to actually empty the tanks. The freshwater tank, as you see in this case, has 2/3. We normally recommend that you don't travel with water in the freshwater tank, primarily because it's extra weight that you do not need to have. But if you happen to need to have water, what you do is you drive to your destination, and as close as you can to your destination, there's always places in which you can actually put water. Gas stations, campgrounds, and there you can fill up the tank and then you proceed to your destination. So you do most of your trip without a full tank of water. Same thing when you leave your campground, empty all your tanks so you don't drive back with all your tanks full. You do need to return the motorhome with the black and the gray tanks empty. We don't mind if you bring the motorhome back with water in the freshwater tank. We prefer if you don't bring it full. The propane tank, the indicator is here, is full. We require that you bring it back full. And the battery, in reality, when you're plugged in, the engine running or the generator running, it's always going to mark full. That is for the tank levels. You also have here the water pump. So when you're using the water out of your internal water tank, you need something that will give you pressure to be able to use the water out of the tank. Something that will get the water from the tank into your faucets. That is the water pump. So if you're not connected into a campground, you're not connected into a house, you need the water pump to be able to use the water. Otherwise, the water will stay in the tank. You won't have it out of the faucets. Once you turn on the water pump, that will pump the water on demand as you open the faucets. Keep in mind, it's always a good idea to keep the water pump off. Why? Because if you accidentally don't close the faucet properly, or you have a leak in the toilet or anything like that, and the water pump is running, it's going to run and continuously drain one tank and fill up the other one until it burns out. So normally what we suggest is leave it off until you need it. You got a water heater. And as you see, first you always got to have water pressure to be able to use the water heater, and you press that button. You will see there's a pilot light. That will tell you when the water heater is actually ready to run and starting to light up the flame. That light will go up in a couple of minutes, and the green light means that the water heater is working. In this moment, the water heater is heating up the water. It will take 10 to 15 minutes to heat up the water. You will heat up the water extremely hot, 197 degrees Fahrenheit, and you cannot change the temperature. That is because it's a small water heater. It's only 6 gallons. That means that water heater needs to be giving you water that needs to be mixed with the cold water. So this is not like your house in which you just open the hot water and you go into a nice steamy shower. You open the hot water and you're going to go into a really scalding skin shower. So you open the hot water and the cold water and you control the two to get the temperature you want. Be aware, don't let the kids bathe along in the shower until you know what temperature the water is. If you're not using the water heater, if you're not using hot water during the day, you want to have it on, it's okay to have it on. But normally, you're just simply wasting propane, as it only takes 10 to 15 minutes. Normally what we do is we turn it on when we need it. When we don't need it, we turn it off. Also, never drive with the water heater on. It's an open flame water heater, so it's never to be used when you're driving. Last but not least, the generator. All the appliances in the motorhome that run on 110 volts can run only on 110 volts. That means that the air conditioner, which is down here, for example, or the microwave, or the TV, or any of the other appliances that run on 110, to be able to work, they need a 110 power source. That will be a campground outlet plugged into your house, or using the onboard generator. To use the onboard generator, this is the switch that you use to start it or stop it, and it's relatively simple. You press a start and you hold, and you will hear the engine of the generator cranking when you press a start. You give it a couple of seconds, it will stop. You give it another shot. It might take 3, 4, and sometimes even 5 times. This motorhome in particular, although here you will read that it has over 2,000 hours on the generator, it has a brand new generator. The generator is still broken into, so it takes sometimes 4 to 5 times to get it started, okay? Once the generator starts, everything is fine, and you can use the power just as if you were plugged into a campground. You can use the generator while you're driving. What you have to be extremely careful is that the generator can produce carbon monoxide, and that can leak into the windows. So always make sure your windows are closed, and make sure that you're never exposed to carbon monoxide. Also, this is your air conditioner, and this control is really close to what you would call a home air conditioning system. Primarily, you have a control of the system. If you want heat, you put it in heat. If you want fan or cool, you can put it in fan or cool, which is the AC function. In this case, let's turn it on. As you see, I put it in cool, it started right up. Now with this, you can tell the temperature you want. Be aware, lowering the temperature will not make it cool down faster. It will only make it cool down lower once it gets the temperature. Keep in mind, you're driving in the highway, you have the heat of the engine, the heat of the generator, the heat of the road reflecting into the floor of the motorhome. It's not easy for the AC to keep up. Now, also down here you have the fan. The fan could be set to automatic. That means that the fan will be on when the compressor is on. Once the compressor turns off, the fan turns off, or you can put it into always on. The only reason why you may want to put it in always on is sometimes the fan kicking on and off will wake you up, because it's not like in your house in which you have some distance between you and your fan. Here the fan is a few feet away from you, so some people prefer to leave it on. If you leave it on, you will hear the fan constantly running, and you simply will not hear when the air compressor is kicking in and out. Okay? This motorhome is equipped with 2 air conditioners. Now, you cannot use both air conditioners while plugged into the generator. You can only use one while plugged into the generator. And I'll show you how to do that once we look on the outside. For the time being, this is the way to operate the air conditioning. If you want to operate the furnace, again, we're Vero Beach RV Rental, very, very rare that people uses the furnace. But if you do, you simply move it into heat, and you set the temperature you want, and the furnace will start. You do need to have some sort of power. It does not need to be plugged into 110, but it does needs to have some sort of 12-volt power. It has a battery, but if it runs only on the battery, after 2 or 3 hours, the furnace, for safety reasons, it will shut down automatically. That's it. If you have any other questions, there's a few more things in the manual.